Hello everybody, it's Tuesday, not Makeup Monday, so we're just going to call it Makeup Tuesday. But I haven't done this in a really long time, a start to finish makeup. And I get so many requests for this. Trying to zoom in just a little bit. I get so many requests for this, like beginning to end, because we do so many things in pieces. And I didn't have anything to do this morning, so I don't have on any makeup. So that's what we're going to do. This is sort of an everyday, simple, out the door, throw it on and go look. So the first thing I always do before I start with my makeup, this is my new favorite thing, is I do apply a little bit of cloud cream. I've gotten a little drier, and the cloud cream gives my makeup a little slip. You know, and it also gives you the blue light protection, which is so big now. They're selling sunglasses and makeup and all kinds of products. Let me know when you guys hop on, make a comment. But I wanted you to see I'm really red. You know, I've got hyperpigmentation. I've got some issues in my skin too. But I wanted to show you how I cover all that up. So first things first is I'm going to start with my Flawless Primer. Now, back in the day, I used this much liquid makeup to cover everything up. And what I've learned as I've gotten older is I'm trying to lighten up on the makeup just a little bit. Trying to zoom in just a little. I've lightened up on my makeup, and so what I've learned is that I can really cover so much more with my primers because I just don't like the feel of heavy makeup on my face anymore. I don't like to touch it. I don't like it transferring to my phone. And so I try to lighten up on the liquid makeup. So the first thing I do is take the Flawless Primer, and it's got sort of a yellow tint. It really doesn't show the yellow there, but it's color correcting. There's sunscreen in it. There's titanium dioxide, there's zinc. So you get some SPF, you get some color correcting. And I used a primer this weekend that I got a free sample of. I think it was Dermablend, and while it did make my makeup stay on really well, which this is like makeup glue, it emphasized my pores on my chin. It made me crazy all day. I couldn't wait to wash it off. So this one smells like oranges and lemons, but this one is a pore minimizer. It is like spackle. So you're going to see how instantly, all of a sudden, I look smooth. And I generally keep this right through the T-zone, but I do put it under my eyes because I have some circles. And I kind of use it as a primer on my eyelid. So this is just sort of one quick primer. And if you wanted, you could also use the Made Matte Primer. You know, this one you just roll up and you just kind of roll up, push on like that. And it avoids you having to use powder throughout the day. And it also, you know, smooths you out right through there. So instantly it looks like I've put something on. I've kind of smoothed out my pores. And my face is more toned down. The red's not so bright and all my splotchiness. Now the next thing is my Luminous Tint. So everyone knows these are my two favorite makeup items that we have right here. Flawless Primer is 60 bucks. It's super, super expensive. But one tube of this lasts me like a year. It just lasts me forever because I only use such a small amount. Luminous Tint, on the other hand, I go through lots of, like monthly. I feel like I'm opening one of these because I just use it. I use it later on in the day. So I take a good, ooh, this one's almost empty. A good dollop of this. And I mean, I really take it. And then if you want to add some liquid makeup, this is when I like to take, this is the Tan CC cream. And I can go darker because I'm mixing it with the Luminous Tint. And so if I were to wear liquid makeup, I would just mix those two together and I just sort of rub that on. And the Luminous really makes it spread so beautiful across my face. Now, this is, like I said, this is every day. Let's run out the door. Let's run our errands. Let's take care of our day. If I were really trying to get gussied up for a party, gussied up, hadn't heard that word in a long time. If I were really trying to get all fancy, you know, I would use a makeup stippling brush, or my really go-to is my beauty blender. And I'll tell you, I've bought a lot of beauty blenders, cheap ones, and they're still nothing like the original. It's 20 bucks, it's expensive, but you clean it, you reuse it, it lasts forever and ever and ever. So if I'm really trying to pack on the makeup, I use that. But you literally saw that is just like a little light coat kind of smeared all over. And the reason I'm kind of using a little CC cream right now is because I've got some fake tan on and my face is so much whiter. And so this gives me a little tan, if you will, on my face and makes my face match the rest of me. So a little drop of this mixed with some Luminous Tint, and that's kind of it, kind of good to go. So next I would come in with my Ultra Finish powder. Chisel brush, magic wand. This little brush is the answer if you're not using the chisel brush with your, and our Ultra Finish powder, ladies, is powder and foundation. So you don't even need the, you don't need anything under the powder if you don't want it. I like the primers because it smooths out some of my imperfections. So you get a dose of this, and I always start out here because by the time I get to the center, I've dropped off some of the color on my face. So I always come in with a light coat of this, and I always get my lids because I did put a little of that primer, and I love actually getting powder on my lashes because it really bulks up my lashes. But look how smooth that is, and you can't tell that I don't have on a face full of makeup. I swear, I walk around and you know, look at people, I'm like, just lighten up on the makeup. Nobody needs that much product on their face because you can really get the same result with, you know, some other stuff. Okay, a little on my brows. I don't do a whole lot to my brows. I do dye my brows. I'll take some just color I bought from Sally's, and you've seen a video tutorial where I did that. But I take the wax in here, and I just put a little wax on my brows first. And then I'll come in with this medium brown right here, and I'll kind of mix it with that more taupe color, and I'll just beef up the fronts and the tails. Okay, I need a regular mirror for that. All right. And this is a little brush I got from Sally's, and I just like that the brush has the spoolie and the thing on the other side. And I mix both the colors because it really looks so much more natural if you mix the colors versus just going in with one color. It looks more like real hair. But I do take a spoolie and a little old makeup brush, and I'll darken my brows about every once a month. It doesn't last long. I really should do it more often. My eyebrows used to be jet black, but they have lightened up as I've gotten older. There's a few little sparkly brows in there. So, okay. So brows just a little heavier, not anything crazy. Just kind of really beefed up the front. I'm really thinking about getting some microblading right there in the front where I'm starting to lose hairs, and then on the ends to make them longer. I've seen just some beautiful, beautiful work where people are doing that, and it's amazing how awesome it looks. All right, we're going to do the eyes last because that's always the hardest part. Technically, you should start with your eyes because you get fallout down here. But actually, what I'm going to do next is a little concealer. I don't always use concealer, but if I do, I'll come in and put a little concealer right in here, and just a very small amount, not much at all. And if you feel like the concealer's thick and it's dragging on you, one of the best things you can do is to take like our eye gel and put just a little of the eye gel, this is in the Aloe Pure line, on the back of your hand, and then mix a little of your concealer with it, and it'll make it uber creamy, just so silky and soft. You can mix it with a little Luminous Tint, whatever you want to do, but I really like highlighting the insides of my eyes with it, and whatever's left on my finger, I'll just kind of roll it there. But like I said, I don't always use concealer. It just depends on, you know, if I feel like I really need it that day. But if I do, I tend to do concealer after I've done my powder, mainly because I use way less of it. If I do concealer first, I see too many flaws on my face, and I use a lot of concealer. But if I use it after the fact, I don't tend to use as much of the concealer. I'm sorry. Okay, but I'll also come back in here with a darker shade and a little brush, and I'll hit, like I'm getting a little pimple right there. I'll just hit any areas that might be a little more red. That's sort of why I can get away without a heavy, thick makeup, is I'll just come back with this and just barely touch anything that needs a little extra something, something. But a concealer lasts me forever. I'll do BOGO every other time and get concealer because one lasts me 6 months. Actually, like once a year probably, I get new concealer. All right, so coming in on the cheeks, I always take just a little bronzer and hit right below my cheekbone. I try to start in the back and come forward because wherever you touch is where you deposit the color. And then I'll always put a little up on my forehead because I like to look like I have been out in the sun, like I've been for a walk or something, you know, fake it because I haven't been walking at all lately. And then I go ahead and come in with a little highlighter and put a little highlighter up on top. And I like highlighter, and I'm 54 years old, just had a birthday, so I'm old now, but I like a little highlighter, so I don't think it's, I don't think I'm too old for it, and I always take my brush, but the reason I kind of do bronzer and highlighter together is I'll come back with my blush, and it kind of tones both of them down. And I love the tourmaline blush. It's the lightest blush that we have, but it shows up. It's gorgeous. It shows up, and my skin's kind of, you know, a little yellowy, olivey, but it is a really, really pretty blush. Shows up on everybody. Okay, you don't have to do the highlighter and the bronzer. You can go straight to the blush, but literally this takes me about 4 minutes to do. The longest part for me is putting on my mascara because I'm an eyelash junkie. Okay, so starting with the eyes, the first thing I'm going to do is take a pencil, and I am going to line. I'm going to look down here. A tight line, we've talked about that before, because I don't use a lot of liner, especially during the day. And tight lining really bulks up my lashes. It makes them look like I've really got, you know, a lot of product up there on my eyes. And if you want to smear a little in up there, you can, but I don't generally do that. So just a little tight lining under my lashes, just to make my lashes kind of, you know, look a little bit deeper. Okay, and then for shadows, you know, we've got so many amazing shadows now. We've got all these new palettes and so many fun products to play with. But what I pulled out today is one of the first things I fell in love with when I joined this company. First 2 products were 5-Minute Facial and Pure Radiance Cleanser. I'm still addicted to those products to this day. But then the next thing was the color box. I love that I could make my own colors. So in my color box, this is a personal one of mine, I've got my medium powder, I've got the tourmaline blush, and then I have Baked, the Cocoa Couture shadow, and the Candlelit shadow, and I use it as a highlighter. And so that is my sort of, this is what I put in my, I show at my demos, because I have not met anyone that cannot use this little combination. All right, so I'm gonna start with the Baked right down here at the bottom. Pick a good transition color, and I sort of start on the outer corners and just swirl it and go in. Ooh, I accidentally picked up the cocoa. We don't want that. So I'm kind of hooded these days. I didn't used to be. So I will come in and go a little higher than I used to go. But a transition color is just a really good color that's just for, you know, transitioning. Instead of taking your dark that high, this is a color. Their Looks of Love palette has a lot of really good transition colors. But the Baked is sort of my go-to every day. If I'm in a hurry, this is what I grab. If I'm running out of town real quickly, I grab this. It has my cherry wine lipstick stuck right in it. Doesn't get any better than that. So, and you know, the color boxes are such amazing prices. They're already like half price or 40% off. And if you're a member, you know, you get an extra discount off of that. Okay, so remember, start at the outer corner, and I'm just sort of building that up right there and taking it in. All right, then I'm going to come in with my Cocoa Couture, and I'm going to use a liner brush, and we have an amazing, awesome liner brush. So I'm going to come in with this teeny little brush and take the dark chocolate, and I'm going to start at the outer corner, and that's sort of my top eyeliner, and it's also going to be like an accent color for me. And then I always rotate the brush when I get to the inside. And I kind of flick the the side up just a smidge. Remember I told you to find your wing, kind of go in there and just kind of, and I'm not really trying to make a wing. I'm just trying to turn my eye up because everything's kind of turning down these days. So, and then I'll come back and build that up a little thicker because I like a good liner on top. And I've got clients that are much, much older than me that didn't think they could do liner on top. And once they switched to powdered liners, they really fell in love with how easy that is. But part of the secret is wetting your brush so you don't get the fallout underneath. And also if you look down, the fallout tends to fall more on your mirror than it does on your cheeks. So I just start out there, come in, flip the brush, connect it. You know, this is just so much more forgiving than pencils or, you know, liquid liners. If that's not straight, no one can tell. Okay, so then a little flick on the corner, and then I always connect and straighten that up. Okay, and then I'm going to take our multi-use brush. All of you in the beauty club got one of these last month, and I'm going to, there's really no product on it, and I'm going to start moving that Cocoa Couture over in the corner right there, just to sort of, you know, darken up just my corner. And because I like a little more drama than that, I'm going to actually dip this in the Cocoa Couture and sort of make my, and sort of, I always tell everybody it's like a little sideways V. I'm going to come in here and just deepen that up on each side. And I'm doing this really fast, you guys, which that's how I do it every day. If I were to really pull up a mirror, I probably have a lot of product under here, but if I can't see it, I don't care, you know? Okay, so that sort of beefed all that up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back with my little liner brush that I had a second ago. And I'm gonna go back with that baked, and this already has a little Cocoa Couture still on it. And I'm just going to add a little liner underneath. See, there's been no real pencil liner except for the tight line above. And if you like it darker, you could use the cocoa as your liner. I'm kind of mixing the cocoa and the baked because I don't like a whole lot underneath my eyes. And then I'm just cleaning it up just a little bit. You can take a little concealer if you need to clean it up. And with your shadow, you want to make sure that this is at an angle. You want to pretend there's a line between your lashes and the end of your brow. And that's where your shadow needs to go. Okay, and I don't want it dark and heavy in there. I just want it, you know, everything going up like that. And then I'm going to take a little translucent powder and kind of load my lashes with some powder. I do that every day. And then I take the translucent powder, and a lot of times I've done that before this point because I'll sort of load my face up with the translucent powder in there and and I don't cover the blush. And the reason I do that is because, you know, it'll kind of bake that, but it also catches the mess and the fallout. But the powder on my lashes, it has been better for me than primers or anything, anything like that I might use. And then I come back with my A-List mascara. And remember, you start at the roots, push it up, and just kind of wiggle, 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 wiggle. And I get so much drama out of this. And if I really want to push my lashes up, I'll come back with Intensity Stretch, you know, after it's good and dry. I love a good buildable mascara. And this one has a nice curve. And so it fits right under my eyes, just like that. Okay, so we just push them. It's sort of like I'm using an eyelash curler. And this mascara is so clean. I mean, look at that. It spreads them out. It fans them out. And just makes them look so nice and soft. I was thinking I could zoom, there we go, zoom in so you can see that better. I'll come back and do a second coat. And sometimes I'll just sit there so I can really, really push the lashes up. It's basically my version of a lash curler. So on this side, you come in here, you sit there a minute, and you just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I barely even open my eye. Just get the wand in there. Push it up. You can see the ring light in my eyes. That's distracting me. Okay, then I'll come back and sit here. And this wand just really separates my lashes. I never have to sit there with a safety pin or anything like that and separate my lashes. I've seen people with needles and bobby pins and all kind of crazy gadgets trying to separate their lashes. And remember, if you ever get a boo-boo with your mascara, if you touch yourself, let it completely dry and then come back and it'll just fleck right off. And then a little on the bottom lashes. I'm really trying to not put much of anything on my bottom lashes, but it is a really, really hard habit to break. Okay, so another coat on this side. And so what I would let this do is let this dry, and then, you know, kind of reevaluate. And if I need a little more mascara, because I told you I'm a mascara junkie, that's what I spend the most time on. See, there's a little boo-boo right there. Oh my gosh, the one thing I forgot is my candle lid. I don't want to get it on my lashes, but I love my lid to be popping right there. I should have let my lashes dry. But normally that's how I'd finish up my eyes, and a little candle lit inside here. And then I'll come back and just sort of knock it down if it's a little too much. All right, see if we can zoom back out. I don't know if it'll let me zoom. Okay, oh well, technical difficulties, I'm not good at that. Then I'm gonna come back with my chisel brush and knock off that translucent powder. But that translucent powder is like a veil, you guys. It makes you look totally, completely flawless. And it really, really bulks up your lashes. Come in with a little cherry wine. And I kind of just put it on the inside of my lip. That pulls all the lipstick so you won't get it on your teeth. And you know my rose dust, it goes on top of everything. I don't use pencils on a daily basis. Just for every day. Cherry wine is so beautiful to me. But cherry wine, Moxie Mauve, they're both really great nudes. And after I've done that powder, sometimes I need a little more blush. But I really wish I could zoom this back out. So you can see everything. Okay, anyway, I can't. So, but you know, that's a real fast out the door, really no liquid makeup, using, you know, the color box. So you go out of town, you grab this, and look how flawless and smooth that looks. And I don't have this much makeup on. I have very little, like when you touch me, you don't feel anything. So to recap, I started with a little cloud cream for some water on my face to add a little burst of hydration and liquid to my skin. And then I immediately went in with Flawless Primer and really concentrated that through the T-zone, a little under my eyes, and put it on my lids, what was left. And then mixed a little tan CC cream. And we are sold out of medium. We're getting a new makeup in a few months. And the CC cream medium is gone, but we still have tan and we have light. But I love the tan for this time of the year. It is the perfect suntan color for me to have a fake tan to my skin. So a little tan CC cream mixed with the Luminous Tint. And if I were going somewhere, I might still come back and put a little more Luminous Tint. But you can see for daytime, I've got really nice shimmer and nice shine. So Luminous Tint and CC cream. And then your Ultra Finish powder. So Ultra Finish powder goes next. And then I added a little concealer just inside here and right in there where I need a little bit. And I dabbed it on any blemishes or anything like that. A little bronzer, blush, and highlighter. And then the eyes. And this is the best combination. It works on all eye types. It is the Candlelit, and that's the one I came in last and just popped right there. And you could also use that under your brows. I don't do a whole lot under my brows, but if you wanted to make them really stand out, you could pop that up there. The Cocoa Couture, it is the best eyeliner on the planet. And I also used it to, you know, kind of do a little accent on the outer corners. And the Baked, it is such a good everyday transition color. on anybody, any skin tone, any skin type. Pop it all in your color box. And then I did use a little liner as tight lining under my lashes and mascara. And you know, trick is to load your lashes with your translucent powder. And I did come back with some translucent powder and do just a little baking right there. That really helps me set my concealer and not crease up. And remember a little tip, on the brow product, but remember a little tip, if you feel like your concealer is thick, no matter what brand you're using, you need to shear it out a little bit. You can use any eye cream of your choice, but like this eye gel in our Aloette line, you know, it's a gel. So you can see that it's very sheer, very thin, but it's perfect to add some hydration under the eyes and shear your concealer out. So I hope you guys got a tip or two. I feel like this is, you know, real subtle, real casual, and it's kind of my everyday go-to look. If I wanted to, you know, do some liquid liner and really, you know, I like a lot of drama on my eyes, I would come back in and really darken the eyes up. But this is a great everyday look. So, you know, post in the comments what your favorite tip was out of all of this, and some looks that you would like to see going forward, because we haven't been doing as much makeup lately, and I want to get back to doing more makeovers. So what are some looks you'd like to see with some of the palettes that we've gotten lately, and some different looks, summer looks, you know, all that good stuff. So you guys have a great week. I'm excited to finally be back in my home and be back to work this week. Things getting back to normal. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.